There's no problem, or at least there shouldn't have been a problem. It was possible that for a moment of dizziness was just the result of mental illness. Experiencing those same sensations brought up my past trauma, caused my memories to get confused. Maybe that was it. Bone wave didn't exist. There was no way the past could have changed. That's right. It was all. I kept telling myself this as I went to see the professor. I met with the professor and Maho in the hotel room. So then, Ntaho, you said your communication with Amadeus is going well so far. Yes, the conversations are always smooth and coherent. While I'm at it, what about the distance between you and Kurisu? Distance? What do you mean? Do you find yourself getting closer to her as you talk more? Well, a bit more than when we first started talking. A bit? You sure you don't mean a lot? Hydration? Excuse me, everyone. Alright, moving on. I'm talking to her too, so I can tell. First, she was so mad when she said you ignored 8 of her calls. But now you're quite friendly with each other. That means you've gotten that much closer, right? I see. Wonderful. Leskinen seemed overjoyed by Maho's words. I've got great hopes for this. It's possible she'll view you as a friend, or perhaps a love interest. Love interest? You don't need to shout, do you? But she's an AI, alright? It's precisely because she's an AI that I'm interested. What do you mean? She has emotions, right? Yes, but they're simply running on top of a program. But isn't that the same as the human brain? I was right. The brain ran on electrical signals, so you could say it had the same structure. The question of whether machines have emotions was settled a long time ago. They do. And anyway, Amadeus was designed to mimic the human brain. If the structure is the same and so is the process, shouldn't that lead to identical results? Which means it's quite possible she could fall in love. In fact, I hope she does. Yes, falling in love. Oops, is this an upsetting topic for Maho? Don't you start acting like Kurisu too, Professor. It was a joke, Maho's scary when she gets mad, so be careful. Yes, I'm well aware. You know I can hear you, right? No, I forgot that I need to call Judy. Lentalho, I'll be right back. The professor quickly left the room. Ran away, didn't he? Christ. Kurisu first, now the professor. Why do they have to make everything about love? Got that right. Of course, that was always the type of girl she was. Oh, right. Okay, but I had a question. Do you know any words that Kurisu really liked? Words? Or numbers or something. Anything that could be a key. Trying to break a password? She said. That's exactly right. I'm impressed. Was right. Is that her work computer or something? No, her personal laptop. It was at her home. Why do you have something like that? Her mom gave it to me, so I'd have something to remember her by. I'm trying to figure out what's on it, so I'm looking for a way to crack the password. I thought you might know something. It's got a password. I mean, she didn't want anyone seeing it, right? That's true, but if I want to make her the Amadeus Kurusu close to the real one, it'd be better to have that data, right? Of course I'll do my best not to do anything that violates her privacy. I knew what she was trying to say. She might have had some kind of diary on her computer, which described what she's been doing during her time here. But, sorry, I can't think of anything. Nothing? Yeah, and even if I did know, I don't think I'd tell you. Because there's something you don't want anyone finding out. Computers hold a person's most private secrets these days. Daru talked about that all the time. He was always wondering if there was a way to automatically wipe a computer's hard drive if you died in an incident. Of course, what Daru didn't want anyone to see was probably very different than what was on Kurusu's computer. Beyond that, it was the same idea. I see. She seemed really interested in the contents of the hard drive. She didn't say anything else. Anyway, I'll be going. I was a little worried about Mayuri too. Got up and went to leave. Ah, Daru. I saw a small ornament that was decorating the door. Come to think of it, it's almost Christmas. I remembered how excited Mayuri was. Are you staying here for Christmas, Maho? Yeah, I've still got stuff to do here. Are you spending it with anyone? What? No, I mean, outside of Japan, don't people usually have Christmas parties with their friends? Sorry, but I don't have any plans like that. And Americans and Europeans don't have Christmas parties. They don't? Christmas is a holy day to them, right? So they normally spend it with their families. They do have a big New Year's party, though. Bet I heard something about that on TV or somewhere. Well, I don't have any family here, so I'll be alone regardless. But that doesn't mean I'm lonely. Don't get the wrong idea, okay? So she said, but being all alone on Christmas in a bustling town was probably pretty lonely. Of course, she'd probably get mad if I told her that, so I didn't. When I finished talking to the professor, I went to the lab. I confirmed on the phone that Mayuri was just fine, but I wanted to see her for myself. I could see from the outside that the lights in the lab were on. I ran up the stairs to get away from the cold and opened the door. Mayuri, you here? I felt a small impact on my chest when I opened the door. Gah! Oh, sorry. No, I should have been looking where I was going. I'm sorry. Evidently, he was just about to leave. Gekko looked up at me. Apologetic, for some reason. He was blushing a little. Only Daru and Nukako were in the room. There was no sign of Mayuri or Suzuha. I'm glad if I'd gone home a little sooner, I would have missed you. Were you waiting for something? Yes, but it's nothing important. I just brought you some snacks. He brought us some steamed manjibins, man. Daru had already eaten about half the box. Someone gave them to us, so you can share them with everyone. I see. Thank you. Hey, Lukashi. You good on time? Oh. Lukaku looked up at the clock and started to fidget. We're having guests visit at home tonight. Guests? Of yours?
No, guests of my father's. For some reason I was asked to be there as well. Normally he brings people over who have the same hobbies as he does and talks with them for a long time. It's all too complicated for me to understand, so usually I just bring them tea. I'm not sure why he wants me there. Does he talk about religion and stuff? Lukaku's family ran the Yanabayashi Shrine, one of the oldest in Akihabara. Evidently not. Last time we was talking about Iriake and something about the era of Harumi. Iriake. Aren't those places? That's Lukashi's daddy for you. Spooky. Do you know what he was talking about? Yeah, I think so. Well, we can talk about it another time. If you've got company, you should head home. Then I'll be going. I'll see you soon. Bowed deeply, disappeared out the door. I watched him go, and sat down on the sofa. Where's my Yuri? May Queen, probably. I haven't seen her today. I guess I'll have to wait a little. Should I go get her? Oh, Green. That call earlier. What was that about? He was probably talking about the phone call I placed him before I went to see the professor. That was... Don't worry about it. I was probably just mistaken. You sure? Okay, I guess. What's up with that neck? Kiwi! Welcome to the stream. I don't know. 'Tis the neck of an otaku extraordinaire. 10th level intellect. With a brain that big, you don't need a neck. I remembered the strange sensation I'd experienced. I wondered if it was a world-line jump. Several hours had passed, nothing had changed. Actually, I wasn't sure if I'd really experienced it anymore. Memories were like that. Especially for me. Still, Harumi, huh? Lukashi's daddy is a real veteran warrior. This about warriors. Suzuha got back before Mayuri did. But the Luka's father is a warrior? How come he gets to be a brother when I'm stuck being Uncle Ocarine? That's right. Warrior among warriors. A man with a history of many battles, you could say. I see, but I thought his family were all holy men. Oh, I see. They say some holy men can also be warriors. You'd convinced yourself. Brother Luka really was amazing. I can accept that. Amazing? What was amazing? I decided to just pretend I never heard that. Still felt awkward looking at Suzuha. I'd avoided coming to the lab mostly to avoid seeing her. Uncle Ocarine, don't make that face. Evidently, she could read my thoughts just from the look on my face. She seemed upset. I can tell you're avoiding me. You know it's not your fault, though. Wait, Suzuha, where have you been for so long? Ah! Would you want to date with some boy? Never! Your father won't let you go make some random guy your boyfriend! No, it's nothing like that. Really? I thought it was a joke, but evidently he was serious about it. His tone was far less joking than usual. Must be hard being a dad. It's true. Then look me in the eye and tell me. Come on, do you of all people get to say that, Dad? Well, what does that mean? Keep playing these weird games when you need to be spending more time with Mom. That's because two-dimensional girls and three-dimensional girls are different. Didn't you say it didn't matter if a girl was 2D or 3D? Okarin, do you have to say that right now? How can you betray me like that? Never been on Daru's side when it came to his hobbies, though. Anyway, if it wasn't a boy, tell your dad what you were doing today. What I was doing? If it wasn't something bad, there should be no problem. Suzuha glanced at me, sighed in resignation. I was looking for someone. So it was a boy after all. I told you it's not like that. Little girl, no, she'd be older than me now, I guess. Strange way to put it. I glanced over at Daru, who looked back at me. Actually, there was another girl in the time machine when I came here. What? Wait, Suzuha. The first I've heard about this. I never told you. I was looking down at her feet. I could see she regretted bringing it up. Who is she? Where is she now? I don't know what she's doing now. You don't know? We got separated, you see, in 1998, here in Akihabara. 1998. That would have been 12 years ago. It wasn't just Suzuha who came from the future. It took some time for the meaning of that to sink in. But what happened? You know we went back to 1975 to find the IBN 5100, right, Uncle? I nodded, silently. We somehow managed to get the IBN 5100, and then we went to 1998. Our mission was to avoid the year 2000 problem. Y2K. Year 2000 problem? Was one of the big events at the end of the last century, along with Nostradamus' prophecy. In the end, after all the fuss made by the media and pundits, nothing really happened. Is that because John Teeter had come from the future to fix it? If that was the case then, wow. I ran into some trouble in 1998, then got separated from her. Used the time machine before you could find her? I didn't have a choice. She ran out of the time machine on her own and must have remembered something, because she swallowed her words with a bitter expression. Of course, I looked for her. I did small jumps, as many as my fuel would allow, and looked everywhere for her, but in the end, she never managed to find her. Yes, I understand, but why'd you keep something so important from us? It's my fault that I lost her. I wanted to take responsibility for bringing her back myself. You know me better than that. His words were soft. I'm your dad. When you're in trouble, you can count on me. Dad. You want to find her, right? So we'll help. Right, Okarin? What? Me, too? Of course. We're not asking you to change the future. You can do this, right? Well, to be honest, after refusing all her requests to save the world, I was feeling a little guilty. I'd like to help her if I could, but I wanted to know what she'd do after she found her. What's her name and age? And is she cute? Dad'll be mad if she's really a man. She's a girl. Okay, then give me her name and measurements too. I don't know her measurements. When I last saw her, she was 10. A loli, huh? Oh god, the lolis. Then she should be 22 now. Name, please! Her name's Kagari. Kagari Shina. Shina? Was an unusual one. The girl who was part of Daru's group in the future who had the name Shina? Suzuha was that girl. That's right. Her mother's name is Mayuri Shina. Kagari is Big Sis Mayu's daughter. Mayuri's daughter? Of course, it was possible that Mayuri would choose to have a child in the future. The fact that I never even thought about it made the shock that much worse. If she had a daughter, she must have had a partner. And that partner couldn't be me. Because I died in 2025. Wait a second. She was 10 in 2036. Then she would have been born in 2026. I'd have to learn more, but if I died in 2025, wasn't it just possible? Maybe. Barely. That it could be me. Just couldn't be. Just like Suzuha had appeared before Daro, she was going to appear before me. Was that Dad? I couldn't ask. Huh? Wait a second. If her name was Sheena, that means Mayushi didn't change her name, which means... Gari is a war orphan. She had no relatives until Big Sis Mayu took her in. Sounds like something she would do. I realized that I was relieved in more ways than one, and I hated myself a little for it. Even if she did marry someone else in the future, as long as that made her happy, it was for the best. Big Sis Mayu told me to take care of Kagari, so this should never have happened. I was always clinging to Big Sis Mayu. She didn't know about anybody in this time, so I'm sure she's lonely. She gets separated. You said there was some kind of trouble. I should come to a new era in the time machine at 10 years old. Suzuha would have been the only person she could rely on. There's no way she'd leave Suzuha and run off on her own. I don't know either. She got really unstable after we jumped to the past. It made sense, come to think of it. A young girl just 10 years old was suddenly taken to a world where she knew no one. Of course she'd be scared. You have any pictures of her? Oh yeah. She showed me a tattered picture with 2 girls in it. It was an adult woman. I couldn't see her face, but maybe it was Mayuri, 20 years from now. Waiting behind her was another girl. Is that Kagari Sheena? She's 22, huh? It's hard to imagine. That is, if she was still alive. Even if Japan was a safe, peaceful country, it would be hard for a young girl to get by on her own. If she was lucky, someone might take her in and give her to an orphanage, but if she wasn't... Suzuha was probably well aware of that possibility, so I didn't bring it up. Hey Okarin, help us out, okay? She's Mayuri's adopted daughter. Right, I'd like to help. You okay with that, Suzuha? Or with me helping? I felt sure that Suzuha was disgusted with me. A chance to save the world and I had given up. Would she want help from a person like that? If you're okay with it, Uncle? The more people the better. I see. Then I'll help. Of course, I didn't think this would make up for that. Thank you. What's this about Mayushi's daughter? Everyone turned around at a sudden voice. Hey, Yimboy! Welcome back. So many things have happened. Toot-toot-doo! Okarin! You really did wait for me. Mayuri. What is it? The moment I saw her, I finally relaxed. I'm so glad, Mayuri. I took her small hand in mine and felt the warmth. It was alive. Oh, Goody? Oh, sorry. No, it didn't bother me, so it's okay. Big Sis Mayu, how long were you here for? I just got here. I was careless. I was so focused on what Suzuha was saying that I didn't see Mayuri come into the room. Hey, I heard you talking about Mayushi's daughter. What were you talking about? Well, that is... crap. Mayuri knew what Suzuha was from the future, but telling her about the future daughter would be going too far. I needed to change the subject. Oh, we were saying that you look so young, you could be my daughter. Huh? Oh, right! Mayushi's a cute young girl. Yeah, people tell me that I got a young face a lot. I want to look grown up like Yuki, though. Well, you eat enough for 2 grown-ups. Wasn't a compliment, Mayuri. It was enough to distract her, evidently. gonna make a rule. Every time I say evidently, take a drink. Oh, speaking of food, is there anything you want for Christmas? Christmas? You mean the party? Yep. Anything's fine. As long as it's food, though. Christmas party, huh? Have you never been to one, Suzu? Where I come from, we really didn't have time for parties. But I think there was one time when Dad got us a really good chicken from somewhere. Big Sis Maya said she'd cook it, but Dad stopped her. Suzuha was looking at Mayuri as if she was remembering the past, or future as the case might be. Really wasn't much more than we usually got, but it did make me happy. In the future, when World War III was going on, there probably wasn't much time for celebration. But even then, Mayuri was still Mayuri, trying her best to make everyone happy. Is there anything you want, Daru? If I've got cute girls dressed up in Santa cosplay, that's all I need! How much food do we need, you think? The plan was to make it with Yuki. Oh, I know. Maybe I'll have Luca and Ferris help too. Yuri's head was full of thoughts about the Christmas party, it seemed. Is there anybody you want to bring to the party, Okuri? Me? I don't really... I almost said no, then I remembered someone. Maho Yaho. She said Christmas is something you always spend with your family, but... Okuri? No, not really. Is she going to spend her Christmas? After I walked Mayuri home. The second I was alone, I started thinking about this afternoon. If that really was a world line change, what was the cause? The most likely possibility was that someone had succeeded in developing something like the phone wave. We're able to make one. There was no reason someone else couldn't. Another possibility was that... No, there was no use in thinking about it. I was just mistaken. And even if the world line did change, we weren't the cause. We didn't have anything to do with it anymore. Whenever I was alone, I always ended up thinking about things that wouldn't do me any good. I took the phone out of my pocket and tapped the icon. Hello? Urisu's expression was as self-satisfied as ever. Why are you calling at this hour? Nothing, I just felt like talking. Did I bother you? Not really. Talking to you was good for me, you know. It was an AI, after all. Wouldn't be bothered no matter the hour. You met with Maho, right? Yeah? What'd you talk about? What? I just gave her my report about our conversations. Is that all? You didn't invite her anywhere? Still going on about that? You better not tell that to Maho. She'll get mad at you. But this is her big chance. I don't want her to waste it. Urisu seemed to insist on getting me and Maho together. Sheesh, doesn't she have other things to think about? Things to think about. Does she have anything to say about the other matters? Hey, question for you. What's the best way to find a missing person? That sure came out of nowhere. Some friends and I are trying to find someone. We don't really know what to do, you see. Tell me the details. He leaned forward, suddenly interested. She really was a curious girl. Well, you can't say anything. I'm not the only one involved. But I can't really help you like that, though. You're right. You could just give me your general thoughts. Well, the best option is to go to the police. Was the obvious and correct answer. Or a private investigator, possibly. Or look at old newspaper articles, but I guess you're already doing that. I don't know about that. You don't know? You're trying to find someone and you haven't even done that? I just heard about this today. I'll find out later. The Kagari was from the future. Suzuha didn't have any personal documents in this era either. Which meant that it was unlikely she's gone to anybody in the government. Some people in America use dowsing and clairvoyance to find people, right? Don't tell me you believe in that stuff. It has no scientific basis whatsoever. No, it was just something I thought of. Good. If you said yes, I was never going to speak to you again. She really was just like Kurisu. Thanks, that's a big help. I'll be praying you find her. Oh, and... What? Oh, no, it's nothing. What? Now you've got me wondering. It's nothing, really. Anyway, I'll talk to you tomorrow or something. Ugh. Why was I just about to say that? I was just about to tell her about Mayuri's Christmas party, to see if she wanted to go. Kurisu was just an AI. She only existed inside of a computer. I guess I was just starting to see her as real. Turning into her! It's turning into her! Well, Dad, any luck? Nope, sorry, nothing. I see. The search for Mayuri's future daughter, Kagari Shina, is taking longer than expected. Let me ask you something. Did you go to the police? Yeah, I did. There's no official missing persons report. I was right. In order to submit a missing persons report, you needed to have an ID to prove who you were. That's why Suzuha hadn't done it. And also, I later learned that the only people who could submit a search request were people like family and significant others who were close to the missing person. Interesting. I didn't know that's a thing. Only family members and close personnel can file a missing persons report? Huh. Interesting. Anyways, moving on. Yesterday I did some light hacking of the police database. I didn't find anything. Yeah, I'm sure. Did you look too then? I didn't look at any internal data like you did, Daru, but yeah. There was a database of missing persons on the police homepage. It didn't go back very far. It didn't have a lot of information. And it had was age, sex, clothes, and sometimes possessions that we're carrying. Since we knew nothing about Kagari Shina, we had basically nothing to go on. You know, this world may seem peaceful, but there sure are a lot of people who go missing. I feel like that kind of makes sense. If they're not that close to the person, how would they know they're really missing? Touché, Yen boy. Touché. I mean, yeah, I guess it makes sense. You're looking for a person. Who is this person to you? I went to high school with them 15 years ago. And that's it. Otherwise, someone not so close could ask for a wellness check instead of before asking for a missing persons report. But the person, I don't know why it typed to me. It's also true, Yen boy. Again. To quote Okabe, the obvious answer. That's a gold star. Not only are you psychic, but you think like a detective. Yes! Right. It pays to be following along. I thought the same thing. Each year over 100 identified bodies were found in Tokyo alone. You expanded that to cover all of Japan, then went back 12 years, you'd have a pretty big number. And the number of missing persons was far greater. Each year, almost 100,000 people went missing. And 1 out of every 5 was in their teens. Of course, most of them just ran away from home. 70% were found within a week after a report was filed. But if 70% of them were found in the first week, that meant that 30% of them weren't. In fact, 5% of them were never found at all. No one even knew if they were alive or dead. Perhaps Kaguri Shina was caught up in an accident, or killed, or perhaps... I sat up, then got off the sofa. Okarin? Where'd you going? Thought I'd do a little more research. School would be on break soon anyway. It wasn't like I had anything to do. Well, I hadn't been very interested at first. At some point, I'd become really interested in the whereabouts of Kagure Shina. More than anything. Thank you, Uncle Okarin. No, it's nothing, really. No, thank you, anyway. As long as I was looking for Kagure, Suzuha probably wasn't going to bother about the future. Having to bring up the same thing every time we met was hard for me. If I could get her focused on something else, that'd make things easier. Or so I thought, but... Finding clues wasn't easy. Just in case, I'd gone to the National Diet Library and looked at articles on missing persons and crimes in 1998, the year she'd gotten separated from Suzuha. But I had no luck. Suzuha said she'd been looking for Kagure every few years on her way to our time, so I knew it wouldn't be easy. I couldn't help but feel a little tired and disappointed. What's wrong? Oh. What? Nothing. Called Kurusu without even realizing it somehow. Hey, you seem even more tired than yesterday. You okay? Is that how I look? Your tones dropped lower than usual. I see your conjunctiva are slightly swollen with blood, too. Were you looking into that case you told me about yesterday? Yeah. I told Kurusu what I'd heard from Suzuha and Daru, and what I found at the National Diet Library. You dummy! If that's what you were trying to do, you could have just asked me. What do you mean? I can access the network and research anything that's on the internet, you know? Oh, that's right! I'd forgotten! It was an AI that existed inside a computer. So something like that would have been easy for her. Want me to give it a try? Can you do it right now? It won't take much time at all. Alright, give it a go. Sure, just give me a second. Kurusu fell silent on the screen and didn't move for a moment. 30 seconds later. You're done already? I searched the network. Nobody named Kagure Shin has been involved in any accidents or crimes since 1998. I found 3 people with identical names, but given their ages, they're almost certainly not the girl you're looking for. If you want, I can send you an email with their data later. No, that's fine. When I stopped to think about it, even Suzuha would have been able to do a search for her name on the internet. And what Kurusu was saying was almost certainly right. Kurusu Makase had known was always right. I think that's all I can do, and it's up to you to do what only you can do. What can I do? Go gather information around the place where she disappeared. It's the ultimate in analog methods, so... Yes, you're right. Suzuha had been doing that forever, so I couldn't imagine I'd find anything new. That was my only option, and that was what I had to do. Meow. Kyo. Okarin? Oh, now you're gonna be Ferris, Yin boy. This is Ferris. Now you have met Ferris. I spun around when I heard a voice behind me. I knew it was you, Nya. What are you doing here, Nya? Now I need a Nya emote. Ferris and... Hello, Kabe. Huh? It's rare to see you two together. We just happened to run into each other over there, Nya. And Luca Nyan was carrying a heavy load, so I decided to help him, Nya. Took a closer look and saw that Luca was holding bags in both hands. If you added in what Ferris was carrying, it was quite a lot. He was trying to carry this all alone? Lukaku. Hey, excuse me. Did you just hear something? No, this isn't... I quickly hid the smartphone behind my back. Hey, are you listening? Hey! There it is again, yeah? Is that who you were talking to a minute ago, yeah? Oh, this is... It shouldn't matter if they found out. Hey, wait! I still felt guilty, so I closed the Amadeus app. Were you on the phone, yeah? Oh, I was asking an acquaintance for some advice. Advice? So that was it, yeah? When I saw you from behind, it looked like you were mumbling to yourself. So I was a little worried, yeah? Did I look like she needed to worry about me? But well, if she saw me talking to my smartphone in a place like this, I guess I could understand that. Yeah. Anyway, if you're in trouble, you should have just come to Ferris, yeah? That's right, I may not be able to help, but I can at least listen. The power of nya! Thanks, really, but it's nothing. No, wait a second. Both Ferris and Nugako had lived in Akihabara since they were born. Both of their families held important positions here. Maybe asking them wouldn't be such a bad idea after all. I'm actually looking for someone. You're looking for someone? I told them I was looking for a girl who'd gone missing 12 years ago in Akihabara. Of course I didn't tell them that she was from the future, or that she was Mayuri's daughter. I'd be really interested in knowing why she went missing, meow. Sorry, but I can't tell you that. Meow. You could ask if anyone has any idea. That'd be a huge help. Got it. That's Kuroki, yeah. Kuroki was her family butler. I'd met him several times. In the same way that Ferris naturally looked like a maid, Kuroki just naturally looked like a butler. Come to think of it, it was rather strange for a maid to have a butler for a servant. Oh, I'll ask the masters of May Queen, yeah. I'll ask my father as well, as our parishioners. Thanks, that'd be a big help. Both Kuroki and Nukako's dad knew a lot of people. They had a far better chance of finding someone than we did. I hope they could at least find some small clue. Anyway, Lukako, what's all this stuff? Oh, remember how I said I had guests coming yesterday? One of those guests is going to be staying at our house for a while. So he'd gone to get some things they needed, yeah? They were a guest of Lukako's father. They must be fairly old. From what I'd heard yesterday, they probably had some unique hobbies. That's rough. No, it's actually kind of fun. Fun? Lukako shared the same blood as his dad, so perhaps he had some latent interest in his hobbies. Get too into it, okay? Huh? Okay. Gave him that warning, then went to leave. Well, I tried to leave, but... Got it. I've got it. Luka, Nyan, you okay? You're not even walking straight, Nyan. I'm fine. This is nothing. Have some tea if you like. No, I'll pass. You've got guests, right? That's true, but... I couldn't bear to see him struggle like that, so I carried his bags to the shrine with him. Ferris had gone back to her cafe. You know, I have no idea how you've expected to carry all this stuff. I've gotten a little stronger lately. I've been doing the sword exercises you gave me, Okabe. Sword exercises? It was the training I'd given him when he told me he felt too much like a girl. Sainshin Sama School, huh? So stupid. I couldn't even laugh. I'm sorry. Thinking back, I was amazed he put up with that nonsense. Luca, are you home? He couldn't hear his dad's voice from their home behind the shrine office. Yes, I'll be right there. Okay, I'll be going. Alright, thank you, Okabe. Lukako bowed deeply as I left Yanabayashi Shrine. On my way home, I thought about what the two of them had said. Anyway, if you're in trouble, you should just come to Ferris, nya. Right, I may not be able to help, but I can at least listen. Didn't realize until after they'd spoken. I'd gone to Kurisu before. I'd gone to anyone else. I brought up the app and started talking with her before I even realized it. She wasn't the real Kurisu. That voice, the way she acted. All of it reminded me of Kurisu. All of it brought back the emotions I tried to hide. There was an incoming call on my phone. It was from Kurisu? It was probably there to complain about me hanging up on her earlier. It'd be just like Kurisu. But I didn't answer the phone. I didn't answer any of the other calls that came that day either. The United States of America. California. Christ, why do I have to do this report? The reporter, Jessica Edmond, had rushed to the scene at the director's orders, and she was pissed off about it. She dreamed of Hollywood and even being in a movie once, so how did she end up reporting on this crap? You're the one who said you wanted work, no matter what it was. I did say that, but still. Giving a bratty failed actress a chance to do something productive with her life. I expect gratitude, not complaints. What did she say? Or what? Are you gonna give up on the job and run away? You never see anything through, you know. You keep that up and you'll lose custody. She hated herself for not being able to say anything. Her stupid pride got in the way. She dreamed of being a Hollywood actress, but all she'd gotten was a small part in a B movie. Had never gone anywhere after that. Then she had a kid and come back home. Still, she loved her kid. Wanted to make sure that they were taken care of, no matter what she had to do. So, where is it? Back behind those bushes. Went into the bushes, and there she saw it. Ugh. Several bodies, all brutally mutilated. Oh god! 5 scientists have gone missing this year, and 3 of the 5 were believed to have been researching artificial intelligence. The authorities believe that the culprits may be radical religious fundamentalists who oppose the development of AI. And now we go live to the scene. Jessica! This is Jessica Edmond reporting live from the scene. The bodies found this morning were initially believed to be human. The police investigation later revealed them to be chimpanzees and orangutans. The bodies are all missing their brains and parts of their heads. Police are worrying locals that a maniac may be on the loose. Ugh, maniac? Netflix killer. Hey, Okabe, you got class after this? Nope, I'm done for the day. Then you want to go get some food somewhere? You just want curry again, don't you? Kitchen Tokai? I got a bit of an extra bonus yesterday, so maybe I'll splurge and go to Mondi? I'll pass. I'm a little tight this month. Okay, maybe next time then. Sure. Talking with my friends after class. I'd really started to get used to this. For the summer, I'd felt really out of place at school, but now, It didn't seem so bad. Back then, I thought I was special. Now I knew better. As long as you make the effort to fit in, you can find a place to belong. People can change. No, they change whether they want to or not. It's too late now, but I've learned something about myself. It really was too late. Anyway, time to go home, huh? As I headed for the exit, I realized that I recognized one of the people passing through my field of vision. That was Liskinen. College went out of its way to attract exchange students, so it wasn't unusual to see foreigners. But still... gone. I hurried after him, but the person I just saw was already gone. Was I just mistaken? Come to think of it, the professor being here wouldn't be strange. He might have come to meet with my advisor, Izuki. Izuki had wanted to get to know him. Next time I see him, I'll ask. I glanced in the direction he'd gone, and then left the school for Akihabara. When I came out of the turnstile, the radio building was right in front of me, like always. The time machine that Suzu had used to come here was probably still on the roof. Even if people didn't go up there often, it was still amazing that no one had found it after so long. Of course, it was all thanks to Ferris. He rented out the roof of the building and sealed it off. Of course, I hadn't come here to look at the time machine. Gotten messages from Lukako and Ferris after I'd left the lab last night. Both of them had asked, and neither of them were able to get any useful information from me. Made sense when I thought about it. There was a missing persons report. Somebody might remember the police doing something, but there wasn't. Ferris had said something interesting. But I did hear about a ghost with twin tails, nya. Ghost with twin tails? Yeah, that's right. Supposedly it appears every few years and asks people if they've seen a little girl, nya. No matter how many years pass, its appearance doesn't change, so people call it the ghost with twin tails, nya. It was definitely Suzuha. What'd she do if she knew people thought she was a ghost? I held back a laugh as I tried to imagine it, and then headed for the radio building. My goal, of course, was to find information on Kagure. This was where she vanished, which meant this was where I was most likely to find clues. I went around to each store inside the radio building and asked, but didn't learn anything. Of course, Suzuha would have done the same thing, so I didn't expect much. That didn't mean I couldn't just stop. Part shops, commercial facilities, even the back alleys. Even after all that, I went all around Akihabara asking people about Kagure. I didn't learn anything useful. Some people told me the same story, about the ghost and twin tails, but no one knew anything about Kagure. If the little girl was kidnapped or got into an accident, somebody might witness that. Going missing was a different thing. Kagure Shina vanished of her own free will. All anyone would see was a 10-year-old girl walking down the street. Nobody would remember that 10 years later. I tried to think again if there was a better way. Police and government weren't of any use. That left someone connected to the underworld. The underworld, huh? As soon as I said it out loud, I drove the idea from my mind. How stupid. It's something the old me would have thought of. Given that stuff up. To think of it, I'd run all over Akihabara looking for something once before. I wasn't looking for a person then, but a thing. The IBN 5100. 6 months ago on the Alpha World line, I'd gone looking for the same thing that Suzuha had searched for in the past. Back then, that's right, Kurisu was with me. When Kurisu and I had learned that there was an IBN 5100 in Lukako's storeroom, we worked together to carry the heavy thing. Don't walk forwards, then I have to walk backwards. Let's walk sideways. Thinking back, all she'd ever done was complain. She was strong-willed, bratty, and hated to lose. But she was still so lonely. Once again, I'd taken my phone out of my pocket without realizing it. Amadeus. They hadn't picked up on her calls yesterday. She hadn't called at all today. I stared at the Amadeus icon for a moment. I put my phone back in my pocket. When I got back to the lab, I saw that Dara was completely exhausted. There's no need to even ask. It was obvious he hadn't found a single clue. Suzu had been doing this for over half a year, so her face didn't betray her emotions anymore. Daru didn't even bother asking me how it went. You could probably tell from the look on my face. When you stop to think about it, Suzu has been working pretty hard at this. We amateurs aren't exactly going to find something new on our own. Daru said what I've been thinking, but trying not to say. Thanks for helping. You don't need to waste any more time on this. I'll keep looking on my own. Suzuha evidently had no intention of giving up. No, wait a second. Suzuha, what I'm trying to say is... Can't let you guys keep working so hard at this. What happened with Kaguri is my responsibility. Be silly. The kid's responsible, the parent's responsible, duh. Dad. Hey, how was that? I think I was pretty good daddy there. If you want to hug me and tell me how much you love your daddy, go right ahead. Watching these two always gave me a strange feeling. For a while after they first met, they were complete strangers. And now they were father and child. Age-wise, they were exactly the same. Maybe I could understand how Suzuha was feeling, but I had no idea what Dara was going through. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is here. Just searching around randomly isn't going to get you anywhere. What are we supposed to do? You ask someone who knows this stuff. The best way to handle this is to go to a specialist. A specialist? The way to do this is to talk to someone who knows the underworld, duh. I realized you'd come up with the same idea I had. My head hurt. You know someone like that? Don't underestimate your daddy. He may be an otaku, but he's well known in certain circles. Well known for being a tub of lard. Don't make fun of me, man. Anyway, are you serious? Do you really know someone with underworld connections? I'll see who I can find. Before Suzuha and I could respond, he took out his phone and started typing a message to someone. Are you serious? Was text messaging the preferred way to get in touch with the criminal underworld? What do you think, Uncle? If someone like that really exists, it can't hurt to ask them. Fairness, being a hacker was a pretty underworld sort of occupation too. If I knew someone like him, it was quite possible that the person he said he knew really existed. Okay, set. Now we just wait for a response. Oh. It's back already? Yeah. Says she's on her way. Pretty fast, isn't she? Better than slow, isn't it? That was true. Dara was sending another message. It was probably telling her where we were. All we had to do was wait for her arrival. Then the phone rang. Not Dara's phone, my phone. Is it Kurisu again? Hello? Lukako? Oh, okay, so sorry, are you free right now? Yeah, what's up? Actually, there was something I wanted to talk to you about. Something you wanted to talk to me about? Can I come over now? Now? Is it something you can't say on the phone? Yes, kind of. Right now. Would it be okay to leave this to Daro and Suzuha? Sorry, someone's coming over now. I was interested to see what kind of person Daru's friend was. I see. Can it wait until after that? I've got something to do later.